myself aside, lead the way on this trial. If you don't know the way, we can stop and make a change. I know we walk for days, losing hope, fading love. This night will be okay, waking up to another day.
This month, Dominic and I have made a real effort to get out and go for walks in places we haven't explored before. One of those places involved a little church called St Martha's on the Hill, and it's only accessible by foot, and you walk up a very steep hill through a forest. And when you get to the top, the views are amazing and the church itself is really quite special. Each time we've taken a picnic with us to enjoy on the way up there.
It all points right to that. I set myself aside, lead the way on this trial. If you don't know the way, we can stop and make a change.
We spent a lot of time in the churchyard just looking around, reading the interesting headstones, admiring the view and just soaking up the magical atmosphere up there. On our way back down through the forest, we came across this Second World War military pillbox. I love it because it looks like it actually has a face. On one of our trips up there, I took my sketchbook and some art materials with me and just tried to capture some of the trees in the forest, the way they all entwine with each other and the slightly chaotic nature of all the branches and the leaves. I've also been working on a large landscape painting on canvas this month. Progress has been slow because I've been busy with other things, but I'm working on it when I can, usually in short sessions. It's going to be predominantly muted greys and greens, and I'm really looking forward to finishing this one. I hope that by the next vlog it will be finished. It's so dark in here today that I have to have the filming light on so that I can really see what I'm doing, because it's more of a daylight bulb, and I'll show you outside in a moment. It's just such a dull, dark day. It's the 14th of September, just for reference, but that's where I'm up to on this piece. This is a commissioned painting. It measures, I think, 16 by 20 inches, so it's quite large, and I'm working on it on my new desk. And yeah, you may have seen the studio tour video where I talk about this desk, but I am absolutely loving it. I've got it at the standing height at the moment, so I'm standing to work and it's really comfortable. But yes, I'm working on this commission. This is a commission I agreed to months ago, so I'm going to try and get that done in the next couple of days if I can. And yeah, I'm not currently taking on any more commissions. I'm just finishing the ones I agreed to before I decided I wouldn't be taking on commissions anymore for the foreseeable future, because I've got a lot of my own projects to be working on. But I'm going to show you out of the window now so you can see what kind of day it is. You can't really see the hill in the background. You can see some of the trees, but I can see a tree line, should I say, but I can't really see the hill. And I really love what the sky is doing. It's looking very misty and pastel-y and beautiful. But yeah, it's very dark. It's been raining all day pretty much. And after I filmed the studio tour the other day, I put all of the Lightfast tests back on the windowsill. So there they all are. And we'll leave them there for at least another couple of months, probably longer. And you see that one is kind of facing outwards. Got it as close to the window as I possibly can. One of his leaves is dying at the moment, but I'm pleased to say I think some flowers are going to be here soon. And I'm really, really chuffed with how well these two are doing, these two succulents. This one at the back here is Herman, and he's recently had lots of little pale yellow flowers. A lot of them have died off, so if you can see any brown bits, that's what they are. But he's growing really, really well. And this one is incredible. It started actually coming out of its pot like that. It's growing longer, I don't know what you call these bits, stems. Growing longer stems. But yeah, it looks so beautiful. Look at that. I love that colour. But I think it's actually a donkey's tail succulent, and I didn't know this. I thought it was going to be a really compact one, but because of these bits that are growing out, I think they grow really long, like my succulent over the other side of the room that I'll show you. So if we go over here, you see this one. He started off as a tiny little, more like a little rosette succulent, and he's grown the most amazing long tendrils. And yeah, I found out the other week he's a donkey's tail succulent. I was a bit worried. I just thought he was going a bit crazy, but this is what he's meant to do, so I'm really pleased with how he's coming along. He's had a few little problems with a few leaves though. He's very delicate, and when you touch him they come off. So I'm trying to propagate 3 of them there, and we'll see whether we can grow an extra succulent. But he looks really good, doesn't he? So yesterday morning, before I started painting, I decided to firstly swatch out all of my green pencils. This is all of the current collection of greens I have. Some of them look quite blue, but they're still kind of on that green scale. And I have this gorgeous yellowish one here. This is the Caran d'Ache Luminance Olive Yellow, which I recently bought, and I am loving. I'm so glad I bought it, because it's so not my type of colour, or not traditionally my kind of colour that I would have in my palette. But yeah, I decided to get that, and I'm really glad I did, because it works so well with the more muted, moody, earthy greens. which I will show you again in a moment. And I also swatched out some of the green pens I have as well. And then I decided to just take a few of them and create a limited palette. All of the pens and pencils I used are here. I'll show you those in a moment. But you can see here I used the olive yellow, and it just contrasts so nicely with the more bluish greens and these really dark ones. This group of trees at the top of the field, this is the dark sap green, which is one of my favourite greens from Luminance. So I used this Faber Castell Abrecht Dura watercolour marker in earth green. This I used for this tree here. I used the bullet tip end because it has a brush pen end and a bullet tip. So I used that for the main part of the tree. I added details like little leaves and so on with, I think it was the Midnight Black. It's not going to focus. The Midnight Black Don't Light Fast. That's what the little leaves were drawn on with. And I also used, this is a new purchase, I managed to get, if you remember, I think it was my last art haul, I actually couldn't get this because it was out of stock at Jackson's. It's the Lego Blue Pastel Molotow acrylic marker. I said that this was one of the ones I wanted, but they were out of stock. Well, I got it from Castell in the end. So yeah, I haven't featured this in an art haul yet, as I only ordered, I think it was 3 new colours and a sketchbook. I'm going to show them in the next art haul, but I really wanted to use it, which is something I don't normally do. I would normally save everything, show you first, and we swatch them out in like the art haul video or whatever, and then I use them, but I really wanted to use this. So you see the little leaves on there that are lighter. That was this gorgeous colour. I also used it for these trees here, but went over the top of them a little bit in pencil. There's a lot of layering going on in this piece. So basically, I think I used this pen. I'm trying to remember what I did now. I think I used this one. This is the Faber Castell Pitt Artist brush pen in earth green. So these are the same colour, essentially, just different styles of pen. So basically the fields have a layer of the pen and then I work on top in the pencil and kind of layer that way. So the pencils I used were my gorgeous, we can get this to focus, olive yellow Luminance. As I said, I'm really pleased I bought this one because it's such a contrast to the greens that I would normally be attracted to. So the other ones I used for this piece were, what's this, the dark sap green Luminance, the pine Derwent Light Fast, that's a nice dark one, that's a bit like, it's a bit like the dark sap green, which is this one at the top here, that group of trees. And then I went for sort of a more mid, slightly warmer green. That's the, it's not going to focus, that's the moss green Luminance. It's another quite new one for me, and this is my old favourite. I've had this for absolutely ages. This is the Faber Castell Polychromos Earth Green. So I have 3 different products from them and they're all in that colour. You can tell how much I love it. So yeah, and basically I added details with the Don't Light Fast Midnight Black, one of my favourite blacks because it's more like a really dark, like a midnight blue almost, really. But a lot of the lines and details were done in that. It's just less harsh than a traditional black. And yeah, and the Molotow marker as well. So that was created with basically just these materials here.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet. I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go for a little while. So be here as the night starts falling. Let my fingers walk over your head. We got nothing to be scared of. I'd rather be with you than by myself. Now always in your head.